London, May 2nd, 1990. A quiet alleyway in the heart of the city's financial district. The air is thick with the hum of early morning commerce. Briefcases swing, heels click, and millions, billions move silently through the streets in the hands of unassuming couriers. But on this day, in the shadows of Nicholas Lane, a crime was about to unfold that would shock the world. A heist so audacious, so meticulously planned, it would become one of the largest robberies in history. £291.9 million, equivalent to £840 million today, stolen in broad daylight. This is the story of the City Bonds robbery, a tale of greed, betrayal, and a global criminal web that stretched from London's underworld to the New York Mafia, the IRA, and Colombian drug lords. Buckle up. This is no ordinary heist. To understand the City Bonds robbery, we need to go back to January 1990. A news report flickered across British television screens. A courier in central London, working for Rowe and Pitman, had accidentally dropped £4 million in bearer bonds on Throgmorton Street, right outside the stock exchange. A passerby, a 23-year-old surveyor, picked them up and returned them, unharmed. The story seemed trivial, a clumsy mistake, a good Samaritan. But for a shadowy crime syndicate, it was a spark, a revelation. Bearer bonds. They were the lifeblood of London's financial system in the 1980s. Unlike regular bonds, these certificates were as good as cash. Whoever held them could claim their value. No questions asked, no proof of ownership needed. They were used to move vast sums of money around the city to keep the financial system liquid. Couriers, often unarmed and unassuming, carried briefcases stuffed with these bonds through the streets every day. To the syndicate, this was a gold mine waiting to be tapped. But there was a catch. If the heist looked like the work of organized crime, the Bank of England could void the bonds, rendering them worthless. The plan needed to look random. Enter Patrick Thomas, a petty crook from South London's Turnham Road council estate in Brockley. In his early 20s, Thomas was no mastermind. He was a small-time thief, a drug dealer with a taste for cocaine and a habit of running his mouth. But he had one thing the syndicate needed: invisibility. To the police, Thomas was just another lowlife. If he pulled off the robbery, it would look like a chance mugging, not a calculated heist. According to career criminal Jimmy Tippett Jr. in his autobiography Born Gangster, Thomas was handpicked for the job by a larger international crime network. He was their pawn, elevated from the streets to pull off the score of a lifetime. May 2nd, 1990, 9:30 a.m. Nicholas Lane, a narrow alley in the City of London. John Goddard, a 58-year-old courier for Shepherd's, a subsidiary of Cater Allen, walks alone. In his hand, a plain briefcase. Inside, 301 bearer bonds, 121.9 million in certificates of deposit, 170 million in HM Treasury bills, a total of £291.9 million. Enough to buy entire city blocks, fund wars, or vanish into the shadows forever. Goddard has no idea he's being watched. From the shadows, a figure emerges, young, wiry, face obscured by a hood. It's Patrick Thomas. He moves fast, a knife gleaming in his hand. Before Goddard can react, Thomas is on him, the blade pressed against his throat. "Hand it over," he hisses. Goddard, terrified, complies. The briefcase changes hands. Thomas vanishes into the maze of London's streets. The entire exchange takes less than 30 seconds. No shots fired, no alarms raised. Just a courier, a thief, and a fortune gone in the blink of an eye. The next day, the Times ran a story. Mugger steals worthless haul. The Bank of England had fed the media a lie. They claimed the bonds were useless, hoping the thief would discard them. In reality, they'd already alerted financial institutions worldwide with the bonds' serial numbers. The bonds were still cashable, but anyone trying to use them would be flagged. It was a desperate ploy to outsmart the criminals, but the syndicate was one step ahead. What seemed like a simple mugging was anything but. The City of London police soon realized they weren't dealing with a lone thief. This was a sophisticated global operation. The bonds began surfacing far beyond London's borders. Glasgow, New York, Miami, Zurich. The syndicate's plan was to launder the bonds quickly, cashing them in Switzerland or trading them for drugs and money. But who was behind it? Whispers pointed to a chilling cast of players: the New York Mafia, the Provisional Irish Republican Army, and even Colombian drug barons. In summer 1990, 80 bonds worth £77 million were intercepted at Heathrow Airport on a flight from Dublin. Then, in September, a package at the Aeroperu offices in Miami revealed £71 million in stolen bonds, hidden inside 2 phone books. The IRA was allegedly trying to trade them with Colombian cartels for narcotics and cash. This wasn't just a robbery, it was a global criminal enterprise, and the police were closing in. Operation Starling was launched. The City of London police, working with the FBI, infiltrated the syndicate. An informant, possibly Mark Lee Osborne, a Texan fraudster, tipped them off. Osborne had been recorded by the FBI trying to sell bonds to undercover agents posing as mafia buyers, but Osborne's story ended abruptly. In August 1990, his body was found in the boot of a car in Houston, Texas, with 2 bullets in his head. The syndicate was tying up loose ends. The net tightened. Keith Cheeseman, a flamboyant fraudster with a history of scams, was arrested in the UK. He'd been hawking the bonds in the USA, drawing the FBI's attention. Cheeseman fled to Tenerife, claiming a mafia contract was on his life. He wasn't wrong to be paranoid. Arrested in Spain, he was extradited to the US, convicted of money laundering, and sentenced to 6.5 years. But he was the only one to face serious consequences for the heist. John Traynor, another player, was caught in a mortgage scam using the stolen bonds as collateral. Arrested in 1990, he was sentenced to 7 years for handling stolen goods, but Traynor had other plans. In 1992, after being granted temporary home leave from HM Prison High Point, he fled to Dublin, exploiting Ireland's extradition laws. He evaded capture until 2010, when British and Dutch police nabbed him in the Netherlands. Extradited back to the UK, he served out his sentence. Others, like Raymond Ketteridge, charged with handling £70 million in bonds, saw their prosecutions dropped in 1991. 4 others were acquitted when, bizarrely, no evidence was presented at their trials. And then there was Patrick Thomas, the man believed to have pulled the trigger, or rather, the knife. In December 1991, he was found dead in his South London home. A gunshot wound to the head. Suicide? Murder? The rumors swirled. Thomas's cocaine addiction and loose lips had made him a liability. Some say he bragged too much about the heist, spending lavishly and drawing police attention. Others believe the syndicate silenced him. His death remains a mystery, and he was never charged with the robbery. In the end, the police recovered all but 2 of the 301 stolen bonds, thanks to their informant and relentless pursuit. The City Bonds robbery remains one of the largest heists in history, dwarfing other UK crimes like the Great Train Robbery or the Brinks-Mat heist. Globally, only the 2003 theft of $1 billion from Iraq's central bank by Qusay Hussein surpasses it. But the story leaves lingering questions. Why was Cheeseman the only one convicted? Who was the informant? And who really killed Patrick Thomas? The Bank of England learned its lesson. By 2003, paper-bearer bonds were phased out, replaced by electronic transfers. The era of couriers carrying fortunes through London's streets was over. But the City Bonds robbery lives on as a testament to human greed and cunning. A heist that started with a simple mugging and unraveled into a web of international crime, a fortune stolen in seconds, and a mystery that endures to this day. What do you think? Was Patrick Thomas a pawn or a mastermind? Did the syndicate get away with more than we know? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the City Bonds robbery, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more true crime stories. Until next time, stay curious and stay sharp.